Bitcoin has seen some pretty interesting volatility over the last 24 hours. And in today's video, we are going to be jumping into the technical analysis, sharing my thoughts and opinions on where I think the price action is heading next. Let's roll the intro, then get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video update. Today we are of course discussing what's going on with Bitcoin. We have BTC here paired up with USDT. We're on the 4-hour Binance chart. So let's go ahead and reflect on where things currently sit. So yesterday we saw a fair amount of volatility when it came to BTC. In fact, we even saw this fake out just here. So you can see that we were discussing this downward trend line yesterday, and we were looking for a breakout situation or a breakdown situation. We actually saw both. We saw the long positions, the short positions getting stopped out with this fake pump and immediately reversing down on all the long positions, liquidating both ways. So if you're long or short and not using proper risk management, essentially yesterday was a really bad day for you guys. And there's probably a lot of people trapped in their positions as well. As you can see, though, there is consistency in our analysis. We had this downward trend line, and as I often say, we look for closed positions, and we haven't yet seen a closed position above this level just yet. In the next 13 or so minutes, we actually will see whether this candle here will close in or above or below our trend line. This closure could be an indication of a breakout to the upside. Now, if I take this down to the 1-hour time frame, you can see just here that we had this fake out to the upside. Again, no closures on this hourly chart, guys, until 4 a.m. UTC, where we actually finally got that closed position. And then, of course, break down into our lows. Okay, now the obvious thing on our chart here is that we can see we have this trade. This is a trade idea that we had put together yesterday. The trade idea in itself was an entry at around the $68,900 level. Stop loss coming down here at the 67,390 or 67,400. And our take profit is up here at $75,000. Okay, so this is kind of what we're looking at. So we're in this trade and we're already in some pretty decent profit. Okay, so coming in here, we're rallied up about 2.25. Compound that with some leverage and you're actually in a pretty decent position. Now, of course, this is not a trade that I've actually taken. This is just a trade idea that I spoke about yesterday. I wasn't around to actually take advantage of this trade yesterday myself. Now, if I were to be trading this, I would be trading on BitGet, because BitGet is my go-to platform when it comes to all my leverage-based trades. There is an affiliate link in the description down below, so do go ahead and check that out if you haven't done so already. If you are new to BitGet, you are eligible for up to $30,000 of deposit rewards and bonuses, depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. Not all countries or jurisdictions are eligible, and there are terms and conditions associated with that, so do go ahead and check out the links in the description down below for more information. So yeah, BitGet would be where I would be trading this, and it'd be great to see actually some positive green here. And obviously with leverage, this would multiply that 2% quite significantly. So you'd be in some pretty healthy profit right now if you were in this kind of similar idea that I had pasted out in yesterday's video. But what about today? Well, like I say, on the 4-hour time frame, we haven't yet closed above our trend line, yet we might find ourselves closing above this trend line within the next kind of 10 minutes or so. So you guys will know at the point of this video going live whether this closed. Now, taking a look at it on the 1-hour time frame, we actually get a little bit of a head start here, because we did close above, and you can see that this is the first closed candle above our trend line here. So this actually would have been also a breakout opportunity to trade it. So you could have traded this with a nice tight stop loss and also looking for that run to the upside. But of course, you know, we did breach the high and the low, so it looks to me like an irregular flat correction going on here when it comes to BTC, because it did break out of that norm being that you'd have basically lower highs and lower lows. Instead here you have this more irregular flat, which is you come down, you break up above the origin of the original move, and then you break down lower than the initial wave here. So you have this irregular flat based correction. Okay, although I do not like the internal workings for it in terms of the wave counting, but it kind of explains what's going on, if it makes sense to me anyway. For the most part, we are long on Bitcoin, right? And $75,000 is the targeted range. Why $75,000? Well, $75,000 I think is the range that we're looking for, specifically because I think this little move here is a wave 4 of a wave 3. So let me show you. I did this yesterday, so everyone should be aware of this if they haven't done so already. The irregular flat is the wave 4, and then we push up into this, what I think will be an overextended wave 5 position. All of this, guys, will actually equate to a wave 3 position up here before having a nice correction for a 4, and then finally a 5th wave movement, getting us up into our higher range between $75,900 and $80,000, right? And this is kind of where we are heading for BTC. This is the final move, though. This is the 5th wave, okay? This is all of these 5 wave movements that we see here. This is just a 5th wave movement of a bigger play. So 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to draw those in roughly. This will be a wave 4 down here, and then that's a 5th wave. So as you can kind of see here, you end up with what we're tracking at the moment, which is this little mini 5 wave movements, where I think we're starting this 5th wave to $75,000. That's actually just a wave 3. Okay, then we have a correction down and then another run up to $75,000 to $80,000, and all of that 5 wave movement is this 5th wave movement. So on a bigger scale, you can kind of see how this kind of nests together. So we are still tracking quite nicely for these moves to the upside, and everything's kind of progressing quite nicely. Let's just zoom out of this for a second and see if there's anything else kind of worth noting at this point. Obviously, we do have our current areas of resistance coming in right up here. I'm just going to draw this little slither in at the previous all-time high, 73,349 to 73,777. That's okay. Looking at this, I mean, I'm a little bit annoyed about the V-shaped bottom here. It's not really a good cup and handle or anything like that, so I'm not going to acknowledge that that's going to be a cup and handle or anything like that. I don't think that's what's going on. No inverted head and shoulder pattern, not unless, of course, we breach up significantly higher. So, yeah, I mean, the closest thing, I guess, that you could argue is that there is some kind of cup and handle situation forming here, which will get you something like this. Again, you get up towards that $75,000 target for the cup, and then you create a little handle. That will be your kind of wave 4 before you rally up into that next move. I don't think that's something that's going to happen, but I guess that's a similar-ish kind of pattern that can be seen here. For the most part, though, depending on how far out you have zoomed, we do find ourselves in higher highs or higher lows from the low that we had in March 2024, so the 20th of March. We have got higher highs and higher lows on that, but we still have lower highs based on the 14th of March. So we still haven't got a great position for Bitcoin, but it does look like things are forming out quite nicely, and I still think $75,000 to $80,000 is where BTC is heading. It's just going to take a little bit of time to kind of get there. From our stochastic RSI, plenty of room for growth on the 4-hour time frame. The 1-hour time frame is already up heavily overbought, so do expect some volatility there. But we're actually in a pretty reasonable position on the 4-hour time frame, so that's okay. We're actually kind of gearing things up quite nicely for a bit of a run. The divergence indicator has no divergences against price, so the relative strength index is still climbing, showing us still strength on the 4-hour time. From the 1-hour time frame, we can of course see yesterday at 8 a.m. we had the hidden bullish divergence. Other than that, nothing else has been pasted at the moment. Taking a look at the price action here, I would say, yeah, we're still looking okay. No major, I mean, I guess you could argue there is a little bit here potentially coming in. No, actually, we're okay. So there's no real divergences being seen there actually on the 1-hour time frame either. So not too much to be concerned with on the 1-hour time frame. Volume wise has dropped down as we start to see this little climb here. This is showing us a little bit of weakness, so do expect some volatility with that. From our 4-hour time frame, it's easier to see that there's a large amount of selling pressure and not so much on the way of buying. Volume profiles here also not quite giving us the kind of positivity that we need to see with this most recent move to the upside. I still see us with that move to 75k and new all-time high though, so it'll be interesting to kind of see how that plays out over the next few hours or so. But guys, that's going to wrap up today's Bitcoin video update. If you have found it useful, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe? And don't forget to check out this video here to stay up to date with what is going on in the crypto space.